this meeting to order. John, you all set for notes, friend?
I'm typing fast and furious.
Good stuff. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for making time to be here. As you saw, Christine won't be joining us today because she's on vacation, and Jeff had something pop up. So he won't be here either. I kind of went through our agenda and organized some stuff to share with you all. So if we're, well, let me see here. Wait, do we have any comment? Oh, do we have any comments? Oh, we need to approve the minutes first. Sorry, everybody. All right. Can we get somebody who's read the minutes to approve the minutes, please?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and approve them.
Thanks, Patrick. And a second on that.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. All right, we'll continue to hold the spot for Dr. Peoples to introduce her. Sarah, you can take a second to say hi if you want.
Sure. Hi, I'm Sarah Richardson. I'm on City Council with Laura, and finishing up my first year on council, so just got elected last year. But I'm excited to be here to meet with you guys, and had been meaning to come and sit in on a meeting anyway, so this was a good opportunity. So for letting
Cool.
play
A forced opportunity, but still, that's great.
I'll take it.
Sarah, thanks for your service. Really appreciate it. Okay, and then do we have any visitor comments, Todd?
No.
All clean there? All right,
Yep.
Groovy. All right, then I will jump into where I thought I was going to start off. Okay, so our old business, I'm going to kind of pop all over there if you guys are following along with the agenda, but we decided to skip the participation in the parade this year, and I think that's okay, based on the fact that I think we'll have hopefully some successes to celebrate next year or to highlight. So let's all plan on it. July 4th of next year to walk in the parade, maybe with Green Space Alliance, we'll see. That's what we've done in the past, guys, who haven't been with us before, last 2 years ago. Or maybe just on our own. So we'll see what happens with that. But that was one of the old business things I wanted to touch on. The other thing was for the sustainability plan. Jeff and I Laura got us on a work session to see about getting approval from council, and Jeff and I presented to council, I don't know, it feels like a million years ago now, but it probably was just a few weeks ago, and council approved the plan, or approved the building of the plan. And so what we're going to do now, we'll kind of discuss in new business what our next steps will be. But that is a really a great success. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then our Green Cities Challenge, Todd and Mike, we went through that document a while ago, a few weeks back, and which was like, yep, that's the one. And I think what would be beneficial is to sit down, maybe the three of us, and go through that document, and kind of, we use the structure of the Collinsville Sustainability Plan. They have 5 areas of focus, and Todd and Mike and I went through the Green Cities Challenge, kind of a idea punch list, and we kind of categorized them according to the 5 areas of focus in the sustainability plan for Collinsville. So what I think our next steps would be is to kind of get some questions answered that we had brought up, and see where we might plug some of these things in on the for the Green Cities Challenge, but also more importantly for the sustainability plan. So Todd and Mike, I will email you after our meeting and we'll try to get together or get a time pulled together so the three of us can meet. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Groovy. Okay, sorry, all know I can't write and talk at the same time. Okay. All right, then kind of an old and new business crossover is the Douglas Hill development. I agree with, I think, John, you said it, that this is like the biggest thing that's happening in Webster, developmentally in some time. So I think it's really important that our commission pay very close attention to this. Of course, that makes me want to create a subcommittee to be able to focus in on attending meetings, disseminating that information, reporting back to the commission, our commission, so that I would like to be able to formulate some opinion to share with either the Plan Commission or with council based on our level of understanding and offer some suggestions as well. I don't know if anybody listened in to the Plan Commission meeting a couple weeks ago. There was over 2 hours of public comment. It was interesting. I do, and that also brings me, I attended that meeting for our commission to report back to you all. And so part of that Douglas Hill, that 2-hour commenting process, I heard the tone of like a lot of people there were some people who weren't in favor at all. There were some people, but I felt that the majority of the comments were, this is an interesting idea, but the scale seems really excessive, or questions about the just various elements of the original design to where the design is right now. So this is going to definitely get more interesting. So I'd like to hear everybody's thoughts or comments or perspectives on how we should proceed, and if we should be offering recommendations or opinions to council.
Well, Jamie and perhaps Sarah, you might answer this. I am curious, what do you think our time frame is to offer those opinions?
That's a good question, John.
So, so you've got quite a little while here. The Plan Commission is going to be holding their hearings open for at least a couple of months, so throughout the summer, and they're not actually even doing, from my understanding, the next Plan Commission meeting is not going to actually involve public comment. It's going to be more hearing from the developer and others about kind of what their approach is. And then after that, if it moves on from Plan Commission, it will come to council, and that we will hold a series of open of public hearings too. So you'll have plenty of opportunity there. I would say the most kind of interesting thing to have happened other than the Plan Commission meeting in recent weeks is that we received the analysis that we had ordered from our sort of partner organization that we had asked we had commissioned to do a study, and that's now on the city website. I can drop a link. Actually, I don't have the ability to drop a link anywhere, do I? But if you go to the city website and you click into the Old Webster redevelopment, that is a headliner that scrolls across. One of the options, one of the links there is to the Douglas Hill TIF pro forma analysis. And there's a lot in there that would be interesting for you to review, and some maybe a different place to get started a little bit, as opposed to kind of the public comments and Plan Commission. Just as there's a lot of information, and it's not going to be moving super fast, is one of the things I can tell you, just based on current economic climate and things going on. So That's the big takeaway from recent meetings, is that there's a need to kind of slow this down and wait to see if construction prices level out and things like that. And so it's not going to be a race to the finish for sure. So.
Would it be safe to assume that if the Sustainability Commission were offering input, that the input would be best served when before the Plan Commission is done, or after and it goes to council? Just any thoughts from folks?
I would
Yeah,
say
John.
people in both places, but I would welcome your conversation.
I think that's a good point to raise, John, because where would our input matter the most or mean the most? Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe both. Okay.
It would be a shame if they had to scale back some things, and of course, the first things they'd cut would probably be the, EV chargers and everything that we would want. But
Right.
Well, kind of what I was
That's
thinking
where we
too
would
is that
be.
as a commission, we may want to sort of have like a framework to look at the project and essentially maybe like rate it or something. I know there are a couple people on here who are LEED certified, and you wouldn't use that, but they have sort of a framework and they look at different things. And you could look at it and, say, we really like this we think could be improved or whatever. So the reason I was asking about time frame is that if we did want to pull together kind of a framework, that it would take a little bit of time.
And are we able to sit in the planning commission meeting to hear the presentation from the developer? I mean, that would be the first touch point to see what they're really planning and if they even touch on sustainability in that, or.
Yeah, I would encourage anybody who's interested to sit in on that. And that's the next Plan Commission meeting. Let me grab the date just to make sure I'm saying the right thing.
I think it's the 12th of July. Usually it's the first Monday, but that's the observed holiday.
Right. Let's see.
So you just log on to a Zoom meeting?
Yes. It's
You
actually,
have to go through the notify me on the website. I think you have to go through the notify me. Isn't that right? To get access to those meetings?
Probably so they can send you the link.
Yeah.
there's a couple different ways to get in there, but yeah, there's the link is also just in the city calendar.
Okay.
And you can just go into the meeting and find it there. But yeah, I just subscribe to the city calendar on my Google Calendar, so that's my easy way in. But.
You guys record it, or is there any way to catch it after? I'm going to be out of town.
It is recorded, yes.
Yeah.
Could listen in while you're driving, right, Mike?
Maybe.
Thrilling stuff. Actually, it is. Okay, I just want to give any space if anybody has an opinion or a comment about how we might proceed if we're going to do of course, my initial reaction is let's have a subcommittee of interested parties and you all meet while we're over the next couple of months, to build a framework. So, or before, maybe even before the next meeting, that's a tall order, but so that we have an idea of what we're looking for. And so yeah, go ahead, John.
I would throw this out here because it's a big job, right? But kind of going back to that categorization thing, if we could break it down and say, these are the things we want to look at. And I'm just kind of speaking off the cuff here, but like water conservation, energy usage, what urban design issues or whatever it is, culture, and so different people could take one of them because it's big development, it's a lot to do if you're just kind of looking at everything.
I like that, John.
I'd be happy to participate in that. And I mean, I think I'll plan to listen in on the planning commission meeting just to kind of really get a sense of where it is and what's happening right now. But yeah, Jamie, I'm be happy to participate and help and pull that together.
Thanks, Paul. Does the other subcommittee that we're going to talk about today is going to be the sustainability plan. And I know a lot of you have crossover for both of these things. I just feel like if we don't necessarily have to have a clean division of who's going to be on what, if you want to kind of do a little bit of both. But, especially all my peeps who are architects and wherever you're comfortable, your expertise will be, I think, really helpful with the Douglas Hill issue. So we have Paul for that subcommittee.
I'll join in.
Thanks, John.
I can definitely help as well. It seems like it's probably going to be a big job and will require a couple of us.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Yeah,
And
I'd be
Mike,
happy.
you too.
I'd be happy to help on that one.
Damn, our whole commission. I love us.
Well, all that's present, but yeah.
Right. We're going to give Jeff like the biggest responsibility. Okay. Does anyone have a particular desire to like take a lead on that and coordinate meetings, subcommittee meetings and that sort of thing? Or I'll just be quiet for a second and listen.
Whoever does it, you just have to let me know ahead of time so I can have it posted on the city website and through the city clerk's office. And that.
Absolutely. That's 24 hours notice,
24
right?
hours before your meeting.
Yep. With an agenda, right?
Yes.
So Jeff and I had talked earlier, and he said that he would be happy to lead the effort and organizing. Sure. I feel bad that he's not here, but we already talked about it, so I know he's in.
It's in the notes, so it's a done deal.
Stone in stone. Okay, so I would imagine he'll be reaching out later this week to try to get things going. And also, I think I'm going to raise up again that sign up genius that Elizabeth had organized for us. I think that was February. I will drop, John, I'll get you that link again. We'll drop that in the minutes. I think most of us will be paying attention at this point. I don't think one person needs to sign up, but that's also a model we can use to divide up the responsibilities over the next few months, I guess.
Well, Jamie, I'll throw this out because it's been kind of tossed around in my head. And Michael, maybe you would chime in here. But I mean, if I were going to break this up into categories to look at it, I mean, I would kind of look at water conservation, sustainable sites, energy efficiency, and maybe like neighborhood development. Those are straight out of lead.
Okay. I like that. Sarah or Todd, maybe you can answer this question. What's the level of engagement with that church on Kirkham that will be sitting in the shadow of this development? Does anybody know?
I know that the developer has been meeting with them periodically throughout the process. I don't know when the last time they met was, but they've been, doing a better job, I think, of trying to keep them in the loop at least. And feedback, I haven't heard a lot of feedback though, so I don't know. I don't know how actively they're soliciting feedback.
Okay. So has this? Oh, sorry, Patrick. Go ahead.
Just me.
Oh.
The only thing I know is that they've carved that out of their development. to maintain the church property will remain.
Yeah. Okay. Has the city talked with the leaders of that church at all, either like council members or staff?
Yeah, I believe there have been some council discussions with them. We've we've run into some issues with too many of us trying to join meetings recently when we're not allowed to kind of all be in a place together. I'm not that person. But I do believe that a couple of council members have been staying in touch with them about it. I don't have any relevant recent updates on how that's going.
Okay. Thanks, Sarah. I definitely will touch base with Laura on that when she returns. I just feel like, especially as the environmental injustice that has been historically impacting Black and Brown communities the most, being that church is right there. I want to make sure that we're listening
Right.
to their opinions and valuing their experience, being that it will be literally their backyard.
Yeah.
So would that be, well, I'll touch base with Laura, but my question is, would that be something that this commission has permission to do? I don't know what the guidelines are with that. So and Todd, maybe you can help me, and maybe Laura can too on that. Okay.
In terms of talking to the congregation about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're overstepping by doing that at all.
Okay.
Just personally, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, everybody. Do we feel good about where we are with Douglas Hill and the conversation? Do we want to talk about it more, or should we just save that for the subcommittee meeting? All set? Ready to move? Okay. Okay, well then the next item on new business is the sustainability plan. The 5 areas of focus on the sustainability plan that Collinsville shared with us is transportation, buildings, grounds and lighting, environmental management. Wait, transportation is one of them. Buildings, grounds, and lighting is another one. Environmental management, land use and planning, community development, engagement, and education. And John, I can send those to you so you don't have to type them out. And so I'm curious to see how, I know, well, I'm curious to see how we can take each of those and divide them up and have, see how they apply to Webster. If we want to keep those same areas of focus, if we want to enhance them or rename them, or, yeah, so I am looking for anybody who might be interested in helping develop the sustainability plan. But before we get to like really getting into the nitty gritty of the plan, I want to have some one-on-ones. And I don't know if anybody on this commission is comfortable in doing that. I want us to reach out to council members, department heads. I want to make sure that we're hearing from many people who, the stakeholders. And so I think that's a good first step in order to make sure that we're not just going to put something out there telling people what to do, but that we're actually understanding what the needs of our community are. So does anybody have a particular interest in being on the sustainability plan subcommittee?
I'm interested.
Yeah, me as well.
Me too.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, guys. Then I think what you'll hear from me then next is, again, probably like a doodle poll to try to figure out when we can meet and get some things going, set a bit of a schedule. I did meet with the woman who, so Collinsville took Granite City's plan. And the woman from Granite City, who I'm sure you all have heard of Cool Cities Committees, it's out of the Sierra Club. She was part of the formation of the Cool Cities Committee in Granite City. That's a lot to say. But she met with me just to kind of get an idea of how they got started and how they planned for their plan and implemented it. And so that was really great information. So I'm kind of like on my end, I've been working on trying to build some scaffolding to be able to create this. So be on the lookout for an email from me and we can get this started. I don't know how long this is going to take. For me, I'm like, oh, we can have this done by the end of the year. I also forget sometimes how government doesn't work as fast as I want it to. So, okay, does anybody have anything to add or any questions about sustainability plan?
Well, I would just add this, Jamie, that one of the things I really liked about the presentation from last month is that he talked about how the 5 concepts were pretty universal. While there are certainly unique things to their city, it's kind of those sort of things that every city needs to look at.
Yeah, John, I think that's very true. Yeah. So I think it's probably a good idea to keep these areas of focus. Just want to make sure that, I'm not interested in reinventing the wheel. Let's say that. So,
All right.
Okay. All right, groovy. We are cruising right along here. I did reach out to Laura before she took off, and I just was asking for some info about our mayors for clean energy. And she did say that council endorsed that effort and that when she returns, we're going to work with her on what that coordination with Mayor Welch looks like to get that going. Sierra Club has, a bunch of little information or PSAs that we can publish as a city. So we'll figure that out hopefully in the next couple of months and get on board with the mayors for clean energy. So that is very exciting. And Todd, as far, I know that I'm curious to know about where we are with our language to council and about the east-west, north-south corridors and bike sharrows, et cetera.
Yeah, council was on board with that. So in the spring, when I'm planning to restripe Lockwood, then we'll add the sharrows and that on the rest of Lockwood, Edgar Road. I guess it was Brentwood. No, not Brentwood.
Bompart?
Bompart, up Bompart, to tie into the trail up on North Pacific up there. So we'll get that all, we'll get the east-west and the north-south then that way. So, and then we'll probably have to get some signs to, especially on Edgar, since it's only narrow two-lane road. Share the road signs. But Lockwood is wide enough, Bompart is wide enough, so we can, there may be a possibility to put in actual separate bike lanes, but I haven't gotten that far into it yet. So,
wow, that's awesome. Thanks for that info, Todd. Nice job, Walk Bike Committee.
But with that separate bike lanes, would that potentially be like from Rock Hill over to
Barry.
To Barry?
Lockwood, yep.
That stretch. Okay.
We're gonna eliminate the outside lanes of traffic, create a barrier lane, and then the outside, the curb will be the bike lane. So you'll have where the lane stripe is now, that'll be a solid white line. And then we'll put a second solid white line about 3 feet in, and we'll do cross hatch on that line. And that'll be the the barrier between the bike lane and the driving lane. So
Okay.
That's awesome. And Todd, we get to buy a new stencil or something? Is that?
yeah, I got to get the bike stencil, which we'll get that this winter.
Woohoo! That'll be something. to
new budget
celebrate
year
in July
starts-
4th parade.
New
Sorry,
budget year
what'd you
starts
say?
Thursday, so then I'll have money to do that. So.
Woohoo!
That's the first thing on your list, right, Todd?
Yeah, it's up there.
Does the city actually do that painting or do you
Yeah,
hire it
yeah.
out?
Yeah, we have it. No, we have in-house. Yep. We have the equipment to do it. We do both thermoplastic and paint, so.
Nice.
Just something about the bikes striping. Should we, as part of the striping and kind of like a, hey, look what we got going on here, Webster, should we make some sort of announcement or like send something to like the local bike clubs and the local bike shops?
I love that idea, Elizabeth. I think that it's not a bad idea to take a win for those folks when we can and celebrate that. I think that's a good idea for sure.
And also, the city has the public affairs and director of public affairs and engagement. So she'll be putting it on the website, the Facebook page, you know, she'll be taking pictures as we're doing it. So
Perfect.
we'll get it out there.
Yay. Okay. All right. Does anybody have anything else? Because that's all I have.
New business, Jamie?
Yeah, sorry, John. I kind of crossed over our old and new business in Douglas Hill
Oh,
and then.
no, that's fine. I was just gonna bring up that,
Oh, yeah.
that document that I sent to you a few weeks ago. So I had a meeting with the head of the USGBC, maybe a month ago or so. And she sent me this thing that the city of St. Louis is doing, which I thought was kind of cool, which I forget exactly what they call it. And I don't have the document in front of me, some computer issues, but it's essentially preparing for EVs. So they passed this ordinance that when you have a certain amount of development, you don't have to necessarily wire up for them, but you have to provide the conduit and the box to be able to power up EVs, both in like residential development and commercial mixed use, and they have different guidelines. It's not very onerous for residential, and then like the commercial, they have like a certain percentage, it's like 2% of spaces, you know, that you would have ready for it, so that, you know, as more people get electric cars, you can have the infrastructure there. You don't have to tear up the street, I guess, or the sidewalk.
I can add to that.
Yeah.
I'm working with Ameren on our fleet, looking at doing an evaluation of our fleet for electric vehicles. I've given them a lot of the data. They should be reviewing that data right now. And then if we get to that point, we're also, Dr. Peoples wants me to look at putting a charging station out at the City Hall parking lot for public use. And there would be a fee, obviously, associated with it, but we would have a charging station out here at City Hall parking lot.
So, John, did that thing from the city, did that include like for a new house, you'd have to have a 240 volt outlet in the garage, things like that?
Yeah, but actually all they ask for is the conduit and the box. They don't ask for you to pull any electrical power. And it actually for renovations, I should have sent the flyer out. But it's kind of more getting ready for it. They're not asking you to actually put the power, but they want you to put the conduit in.
Okay.
And it
Not a
is
bad
for
idea.
houses, yeah. And they have, you know, like if you don't have any parking that's close by where you could pull an outlet, you don't have to do it.
Yeah, John, I just pulled that email up that you sent me from Emily. And I think, well, let's pop that in the minutes too. We'll add that so everybody can see that. I think that's a great idea. And I know that Jeff had talked about getting like that. I think it was Richmond Heights who just legislated that houses, new builds or renovations be EV ready. So that's the kind of thing I'd love to fold into the sustainability plan, and then also then start to, as these things pop up, the opportunities pop up, or we just introduce these ideas for council to consider.
Yeah, it may be the kind of thing, maybe Todd, we could take it to council. And the thing that I would want to stress is that it seems like what the city is doing, it's not too onerous. They're not telling people that they have to wire it up, but they're going a little bit, telling them you have to put in the conduit for new work, which to me is kind of like what we were discussing maybe a year ago or so for new work. We had talked about, remember the ordinance language about bicycle parking? I don't know whether that ever went anywhere, but it's just kind of thinking ahead a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Todd, I just had a question. You said you were reviewing the fleet with Ameren.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
How does Ameren fit into our fleet of city vehicles?
They have a evaluation tool that they've offered to municipalities. City of St. Louis is one. There's a couple other ones. I think we're like the third or fourth one. So they ask for a bunch of data on our fleets. Like since we have our own fueling stations at our service center, we track how much fuel is being used by each vehicle independently, because you have to log in with your vehicle ID number. So that's how we track it. And then we also track mileage. So we know how many miles per gallon you're getting, how many gallons you're using, how much you're expending. So then they can use that for evaluating what cost savings they can provide to the city by going to electric fleets. So.
Gotcha. That makes sense now. Okay.
And then obviously Ameren has,
Yeah, a lot to gain
selling us
from-
the electricity.
Yes,
to charge them.
exactly.
Yeah, so instead of us doing something like Fleet Karma, which Jeff had introduced that idea, or another kind of tracking, Ameren's here.
Yep.
So it's free, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
For them to evaluate it.
Service.
Yes.
I'm certain it will follow the side of electric vehicles with their evaluation tool.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Anything else, friends? Okay. Oh, Todd, I'll also reach out to you after you find your way out of your back to work paperwork about Jean's Ponzi's email about the mosquito thing.
Yeah. Oh, hey, keep it confidential.
Yeah. Secret. Okay, so traditionally, since 3 years ago, I've been on this commission, and we've taken July off. And I polled everybody, and I think it's unanimous. So we're going to take July off, but also that means our subcommittees are going to have some time to get some meetings in and attend plan commission meetings as well. So it's not like technically off, but we're going to build us some time in to be able to in August come back and with a robust report and meeting. Will we be meeting in person?
The council's talking about it, so it may not happen in August, but it might be September, October.
Okay.
So some of our commissions are meeting in person now.
Oh.
I'm also the liaison to Parks and Rec, and we just met in person we meet at the rec center in one of the big meeting rooms there, so everybody can spread out, which is nice. But okay, something to keep in mind, maybe.
Yeah, that's something to consider. Just show of hands, who's ready, who's willing to meet in person? Okay, Elizabeth, I love your hand. Okay. All right, then. Okay, so our next meeting is scheduled for August 16th right now. Todd, if you look in your crystal ball, does that
Yes.
look
August
okay
16th
for you
would
right
be
now?
nice.
We'll double check with Laura. But okay.
Can I add that there's only one council meeting in July? So we have canceled the second, the one that happens on the third Tuesday will not occur.
Okay.
19th, July 19th.
July 19th.
Or not, July 20th.
20th, I think.
Tuesday.
20th. All right.
Yeah, so the only one will happen on the 6th.
Okay.
But we're doing public hearings on the multifamily and commercial districts. So there is some interesting stuff going on if you are able to join us for July or August, the first meeting of those 2 months.
Okay. That's good to know. Yeah. Do we need to talk about that? Are we good, Commission? The multifamily, I'm looking through my notes here. Well,
Well-
I'm gonna attend that meeting.
Jamie, the commission already sent in a letter of support while it was at the plan commission's, I believe, right?
I think
They had
so,
that-
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
All
probably an
right.
offline conversation, I would think.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, everybody. Are we good?
Do we have a copy of the letter that we sent in support of the multifamily? Because I thought, I mean, I know that I drafted one that had to do with like the water, but wasn't related to the multifamily. And I just am like feeling a little foggy on the multifamily letter.
I went back to look and I couldn't find it, but I don't have all of the notes.
Yeah, I know I submitted a letter laid in support by myself.
I can go through my stuff.
Yeah, I can too, because commission did send something to the plan commission, so. I don't have it in my folder here, but I'm sure I got an email somewhere that shows it.
Okay. And I can sort through my stuff too. Maybe we can,
We'll find it.
yeah. And we can, as long as we include Katie and you, Todd, we can communicate via email for sunshine purposes
Correct.
with stuff like that. Okay.
Well, if it's just 1-to-1, you don't have to do anything, but if
Okay.
you have more, if you have 2 or more, I mean, 3 or more, then you have to, then it's considered a subcommittee. So.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. We'll find that then. All right. Anything else? I think we're good. Does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Thanks, Elizabeth and Paul. And that is it for today, for June. All right, everybody. Thanks so very much.
Thanks for letting me
Thanks.
sit in.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for being here, Sarah.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.